thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Good evening. The new smuggling of migrants bill raising questions among various groups tonight. And so tonight we ask, what's the real story? Also tonight, it's the Beyond the Headlines political series temperature check. I tell you, the temperature in here is a little chilly, but out there it's quite hot. Tonight we're zeroing in on the Mount Moriah constituency. Which of the three candidates is causing constituents to take a second look by the job they're doing? Who is not making a ripple in the water? Who's hitting home runs? It's temperature check tonight. The panelists are ready, and I'm excited to hear what their investigations reveal. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. Well, we begin this evening with a story that's been trending all evening long, all day long. The Coalition of Independents has a lot to say about the government's new. Can you all go back down, please? Just go back down so I could read the thing with sense. Up, then. The Coalition of Independents is putting the government's proposed smuggling of migrants bill under fire tonight, suggesting that it seems to be condoning and supporting the very behavior it is supposed to work to protect the country against. Now, the smuggling of migrants bill is to enforce laws against migrant smuggling by introducing new offenses with hefty fines and/or jail time for those who profit from illegal immigration. The new smuggling of immigrants bill does not interfere with standing immigration laws. We're going to get to the bottom of everything this evening because there seemed to be a lot of confusion. Some would say misinformation, others would say not enough information. And so we're going to get into this evening because it's very important for us to talk about this, especially considering when we have U.S. President Donald Trump now talking about stopping all immigrants from third world countries. Does that ring a bell right there? Third world. From entering the United States. And so we're going to get into it this evening. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. My contributor, Cassius Stewart. Good evening to you, Cassius. It's good to have you here. We are supposed to have two others join us via Zoom. I am hoping that they are there as well. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you here.
Always a pleasure, Shanique.
Yes, Cassius, let's just look at this and talk about what's happening. Now, the COI leader, Lincoln Bain, says that it is not what is being said as it was debated in Parliament today. It's what's not being said that's the issue. What have you been able to determine? And even in fact of his very statement just right there about what the government is not saying that is worrisome.
Well, my problem is not what is being read, is what's not being read. It's the actual bill. And, I think a lot of people are talking and they're sending around this bill and nobody took the time to read it. Mm-hmm. And you're just waiting for somebody to tell you what their interpretation of the bill is, and the interpretation is fallacious. Miles Monroe said one thing to me. He said, Cassius, in the Bahamas, if you read one book, you're a genius. And I couldn't figure out what he meant by that. But what I figured out he was saying is that nobody else reads. Mm-hmm. So if you read one book, you become a genius. And in this case, everybody talking about the smugglers bill, but nobody took the time to read it. And I wasn't paying much attention, to be honest with you, until I see all of this hullabaloo and I decide to read the bill. Mm-hmm. And everything they said the bill was doing the bill is not doing. And I think the gentleman or the boy is being disingenuous because you're trying to gain political brownie points and trying to make.
No, but this isn't something to gain political points over, Cassius.
Well, see, but desperate politicians do whatever they take to get political brownie points, because You're saying that this bill is feeding and housing and clothing and sheltering. We do that now. Every time we apprehend an illegal immigrant, whether they're Haitian or American or Cuban, we put them in the detention center and we feed them every day. If they get sick, we take them to the hospital. We guard them. In fact, I don't have no guard outside my house, but they have guards. And so everything you're saying that this bill should not do is what we do already. And so there are certain UN conventions. One thing you got to realize as a politician, as a future leader, is
you don't have to address the individual.
Well, I'm talking about all the other politicians.
Okay.
I don't talk to them. I talk about all other politicians. You cannot be seen to be breaking the law, and governments cannot break the law, whether it is international conventions or local law or precedents. We don't break the law, and so we have international laws that says that anybody who comes to the Bahamas, whether they're refugee, migrants, we have to treat them with dignity and respect. And so you cannot treat people with dignity and respect. What do you mean we feeding them? We have to feed them. What do you mean I mean, the bill now, if you could run into an argument because the bill does says that you educate them now, but if they're not here on a long-term basis, why are we educating them? And so if you're saying to the leaders or the Prime Minister, I think we may have to adjust some of the elements of the bill so that it doesn't speak to certain things, then fine. But don't make the bill.
Okay, so what are those things? Because if you are the leader of, if the COI has a number of questions, what are those things that perhaps that they have pointed out? And I wish that we had our zone people, because Kevin Harris is one of those who says he has questions. I wanted to hear those questions this evening to have as balanced a discussion as possible. To hear what questions he has. But go ahead.
See, the bill now separates the deporter and the deportee. In other words, you have people who are coming in who are the smuggler and the smugglee. In other words, so the bill does not criminalize the smugglee, but the smugglers it criminalizes. But under our existing law, if you come into the Bahamas, you break the law. But the bill does not give them carte blanche to stay in the Bahamas. You are deported, just like you were originally deported. Now, some people are saying because these people, even though they pay to come to the Bahamas, they violate the law. So yes, you could question that. They did violate the law by paying to come to the Bahamas. They wasn't apprehended, they wasn't captured and put on a boat to come to the Bahamas. They knew what they were doing. So they know that they were breaking the law. So the question is, should we punish them? The question is now, so we have 2 men on the boat who's smuggling people. We could punish them what? $300,000, 15 years in jail, or you have 50 people on the boat. Do we have the time to put all of them in court? Do the court have the time to go through all of these 50 people, or we could just apprehend them and send them back? You see, so
which again, is what's done. I mean, if they obviously they are housed at the detention center until there's a time to be able to process them and whatever else it is that happens between Immigration Defense Force and everybody else, and then they are repatriated.
See, but under this bill, it doesn't specifically say that these people who are migrants who come to the Bahamas, they are now violating the law. But under the existing immigration law, they are violating our law and they are repatriated. So the bill does not give them any pathways to citizenship. It doesn't give them any refugee status in the Bahamas. If you want asylum, you have to apply for asylum, and you can't say, but what's going on in their country, because we just shipped a couple hundred back yesterday. America's shipping people back, so they don't have any argument to say that they cannot go back. So now, if Haiti is all burned down and all out water, and yeah, I can understand it, but that's not the case. So anybody who comes to the Bahamas illegally, we could ship them back. And so I think the government has done a poor job in explaining the bill, and so I think they need to strengthen their communications in terms of letting people know and break it down simply, because you
just
really
simplify it so that there isn't this confusion. I think that we do have someone on Zoom right now. I'm not sure if is that you, Kevin Harris, or is that you, Howard Johnson?
No, this will be Kevin Harris.
Kevin, good evening to you. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines, and let's jump right in quickly. I know that you have some questions about the bill. You're not questioning the bill itself, but you're saying, wait a minute, there's some things in there that have raised questions. Let's go ahead.
Well, again, good night, and thank you, Shanique, for the opportunity. Yeah, I guess the general question I believe that I have is what I believe many Bahamians now have, who are now being made aware that, first of all, this bill exists. Second of all, that the bill would have been tabled. Third, that they were preparing to debate this bill and perhaps even pass the bill The information I got was that the intention was for that to happen today, or at the latest maybe tomorrow. So essentially, I think we would have ended up with a very important piece of legislation that could have a tremendous impact on the socioeconomic balance of our country without many Bahamians, number one, being made aware. So,
well, Kevin, when has any bill ever been brought to the public for consultation? When has the public paid attention to any bill to even be consulted on? And also, how does this affect the revenue and economy of the Bahamas? This bill that I imagine the Bahamas stands to benefit significantly from in its revenue. Here's why. These migrant smuggling has been happening all too frequently, involving Bahamians and other persons of other nationalities that they have just been arrested, maybe the vessel confiscated, and that's it. So how is it that when have bills been brought, I'm talking from the days of Sir Lyndon to now, unless we're talking about a new hospital, well, that's policy, that's different, or something to that sort. When has any bill been brought and taken to the public square and say, hey guys, gather here. Here's what we're going to be talking about. Tell me.
Well, listen, politicians are in the business of staying elected, being elected, or trying to get elected. So to have a seat in the House of Assembly, either one of those three things have to happen. Now, part of that process is going to be you need votes. How do you get votes? From the people. So you have a choice as a government. You could decide, you can pass a bill in the dead of night with nobody knowing, and then something happens or someone brings an awareness to it, and I think part of the early discussion you guys have, the government didn't get ahead of the public relations or setting the right narrative to explain the bill. So if that doesn't happen, then others can use their interpretive lens to share what they think the bill means. Mm-hmm. So yes, you could decide that you don't want to go to the public to have any kind of consultation on a bill, but is that really wise, particularly if you are looking to gain the public's trust just before a general election, particularly with a bill that could be very, very inflammatory as this one, where you know the subject matter could be very, very, very
But
toxic.
what is, in case I'm missing something, what is inflammatory about causing men who smuggle in the dead of night, some brazenly in the day, and they go and put people's lives at risk and charge them thousands of dollars, or even the human smuggling aspect of it? Cassius, you could jump in as well. What is dangerous about that? One, two, when was this bill going to be snuck under people's noses when it was set to be discussed and debated in the House?
Well, I think
once again, if you don't mind, once again, Shanique, you and I are part of the media, and I can guarantee you, a poll among colleagues, a lot of people probably didn't know this bill exists.
It's a new bill. It didn't exist.
Well, most people don't follow Parliament. But I mean, for those who do, though, we cannot be disingenuous to the public, to the general public, and give some kind of wrong or misleading statement about what this bill is doing. This bill is not allowing Haitians to come in. This bill is not
creating anything for asylum,
is it? This bill is not causing any socioeconomic problems. What it's doing is punishing these people who are smuggling illegal immigrants. Now, I also want to see a Smugglers of Gun Act as well, too, for people who smuggle gun in the country. We need that. But this bill is not a bad bill, because I've read it over and over and over, and it's not a bad bill. And when I contrast it to what these people are saying on the street, I mean, what are you saying? What bill are you reading? And as if you went to third grade, you can't read. You're interpreting what you want to interpret. And so you have to be honest to the people. If you want to be elected, be honest. I mean, if you don't like the government, right? Say you don't like the government. Don't lie and say the bill is going to allow 100,000
But this is important.
That's a lie.
See,
You're lying.
Gentlemen, say the bill is going to what?
Let's open up the floodgates and how we taking care. But listen, we do that already under the UN Convention. We have to take care of everybody who land in the Bahamas.
This bill is putting some teeth behind. I don't think we had smuggling laws before. Or if they were there, they certainly weren't as powerful as this bill intends on having it be. When you can be fined up to $300,000
yes.
and over a decade and/or in jail,
15
that
years.
right there is a deterrent. And not that people ain't gonna still try, like they do it in the great United States. Imagine here. What I'm saying is, gentlemen, it's important that that this law comes about, because you know why? In the eyes of the great United States, we are all seen as migrants, And whether, however we get there is how we get there. But what Trump is intent on doing is stopping every migrant from third world nations of entering the United States. And when we give the impression that the Bahamas is the doorway, and so we allow anything to kind of take place so that they can get to their ultimate destination, which is there, is something that gets my attention. I just happened to come across this interview yesterday, and I want us now to play this, you all. This is an interview on NBC to hear exactly, truly, what is ahead of us and why it's important we get this right. Yes, go ahead.
Promised to, quote, permanently pause migration from all third world countries. Is the administration ending all legal immigration into the United States?
The president is absolutely determined to stop all processes at this point in time from third world countries until we can have a thorough opportunity to go through these individuals, know that they're here for the right intentions, and that they even should be in our country to begin with. He's putting Americans first, their safety first. And these third world countries don't have stable governments. They can't sustain them. They can't tell us who they are. And that's really the consequence of what we're seeing unfold with the violence on our streets, is because these countries that people have been traveling to our shores from for so many years under the Biden administration, their governments didn't tell us who they were. We don't have a proper vetting process. So that's one of the things I'm so grateful for, is that President Trump has been bold enough to say, you know what, we're going to stop. We're not going to allow this to continue until we have a process in place that ensures that it actually has integrity for people that will protect us and keep us safe.
Will you deport people with pending asylum claims, Madam Secretary?
We will if they should be. Absolutely. Yes, we are going to go through every single person that has a pending asylum claim, has an asylum claim here in this country. You know, one of the requirements of asylum is that you have to come in every single year for a checkup and an interview process and a revetting, and that is something that we're going to expedite and happen immediately with anyone who does have that asylum claim today, and ensure that they deserve to still be in this country, that they still have the purposes for which they claimed that asylum in place, and that they're not here being radicalized and perpetuating dangerous criminal activity against our Americans.
And so you all, the reason I asked my team to pull that, gave them that video, I saw that a day or two ago, and I went, I thought about different things that we're doing and what's been said and put out there. One of them is, remember you all, and I don't want to rehash this, but the passport matter. The lady said, and I think she's Secretary of Homeland Security, that the Trump administration is looking at the fact that, wait a minute, these third world countries, their governments are unstable. They allowing anything to happen, and guess what's happening as a result of them allowing anything to happen in their nations? People, those same type people, and their slackness is affecting the United States. So when I got wind of this bill, and then of course I saw that there was a protest to call attention to it, for the first time I read an entire bill. I hope I read the entire bill, but it was about 2 pages or so, and I tried to look and then break it down. I even discussed it further to listen, let's simplify this. Let me get a good handle on this, because I need to understand what this bill is intent on doing. Well, there were several various releases about the bill, and so Kevin, if you were there, this is what gets to me. Good evening to you, Howard. This is what gets to me. Perhaps you can jump right in, because this right here is something that is worrisome. When the United States refers to all of us as third world, when the United States said, listen, there are unstable governments in these little banana boat nations, and they are the ones we have got to be aware of, will the United States classify us as third world? Jump in, Howard.
Yes, good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Brother Harris. Good evening, Brother Stewart. And good evening, Bahamas. So, Shanique, I just want to clarify one quick thing with the video that was shown, because I've seen that similar stuff playing out on the news here in the United States. So that pause that's going to take place in third world countries is for asylum cases only. It is not for persons who will be legitimately applying for green cards through family members, for H-1B visas, for business visas, and for extraordinary ability visas,
believe me, no,
and
Howard,
any other visa.
Howard,
it's just for asylum cases.
Wait a minute, Howard, it affects some people applying through family members. I have a family member who was just recently returned, whose mother is a citizen. and they have told him, no, you don't, you apply for
Yes.
yourself.
So
And so,
that's why I said, so that's why I used the word
broadly you're
legitimately.
speaking,
Now, some people are not applying
but
legitimately
individually
for any
people
of the
are being
reasons that I'm
turned
talking
around.
about. But this video specifically speaks to asylum cases.
It don't matter what the video speaks to. Let's talk to what's happening right here,
Right.
because
So right
broadly
here in
you're
the
saying
Bahamas,
that,
yes. So I just wanted to
but
say
people
one
are being
thing
affected.
regarding
Yes.
what Brother Harris said, that that I've seen trending on social media and coming onto my WhatsApp, and it is that the government is somehow trying to sneak this bill into law and trying to get it passed as early as this week or whenever the House meets again. So what I'm trying to figure out, if the bill was just tabled today, right? I think the bill was just tabled today. It was just introduced today. According to the Constitution of the Bahamas, a bill has to be read 3 times in both the Senate and the House, and then sent to the Governor General to be signed, and then it becomes law. And any time from the tabling of the House of Assembly, in the House of Assembly, until the Governor General signs it, that is the opportunity for all of us as citizen stakeholders, for other political parties, for groups, for any and all of us to give our say-so, give our views and our feedback and our opinions and our discussions on the bill. And there's an opposition sitting in the House of Assembly that is supposed to be one of the watchdogs for what is going on with any bill that is introduced and expected to be passed in the House of Assembly. So all of this sneaking and red herring stuff and passing under the cloak of darkness, that can't happen according to the Constitution of the Bahamas.
Cassius, quickly.
Shanique,
Can I weigh in? I wanna
Let's
just-
go, Cassius. Kevin, I'll invite you because this has to be continued. This discussion has to be continued. Go ahead, Cassius.
Shanique, like I said,
I'll invite you back, Kevin.
Behemoth, it's important that you read. Don't just listen to anybody out there who making noise. Even a donkey who shouts
Cassius,
the
keep
loudest
it above
feel like
board.
he's king. And so I'm not talking about no specific person. I'm just talking. You can shout aloud. You can shout aloud. You shout loud. You have to be able to know exactly what you're saying. Read for yourself. And so once you read for yourself, then you could stand on your own 2 feet and you can make judgments. But I read this bill last night and I did not see anything else. Now, if there was a problem with it, I would have told you. But Bahamians, listen, there is nothing wrong with the bill. We can tweak it a little bit, we can make it stronger, but I think the bill should be passed.
I'll tell you, read, Bahamas, read. There's a whole doctor, an entire one, say he took sick after hearing we letting 100,000 Haitians
But
in.
he ain't read it.
Read what?
He ain't read the bill.
You better stop cursing on the show.
They sent
Don't
me this
curse, because
morning.
Urka's watched the show. So don't curse on the show.
you
The
stop cursing.
doctor did not read. The doctor say he heard that this is what was going to happen and happening under the cloak of darkness, and he took sick.
And so, but when I heard it, I decided to read the bill.
Fully done.
And I realized that's a bunch of foolishness. That's a bunch of nonsense. So remember what Miles Monroe say. If you read one book in the Bahamas, you're a genius. Read, Bahamas, read.
Temperature check is after the break.
Janae's Chesapeake Road Christmas Wonderland is open. Get up to 40%, yes, 40% off decorations this season. Christmas trees in a variety of sizes and colors, and decorated by choosing from the largest variety of Christmas decorations in town. Musical LEDs and laser lights, ornaments, lighted angels and Santas, garlands, wreaths, tree skirts, stockings, and lots and lots more. Oh, the array of flowers and picks choices. Don't forget the toys. Up to 40% off things Christmas at Janae's. Restrictions apply. Check out some selections online at janae's.com.
It's Christmas time at Grand Bahama Tiles with 5 days of savings you don't want to miss. Starting this Saturday, November 29th, get 25% off all tiles in stock. Then on Monday, December 1st, savings drop to 24% off, ending Thursday, December 4th with 21% off. The early bird really catches the worm this Christmas as savings drop each day. Hurry down for early Christmas savings at Grand Bahama Tiles. Call them at 352-7920.
Crossing the Sir Sidney Poitier Bridge just got easier. Now you can pay your bridge tolls using debit or credit cards.
No more searching for cash.
Just tap and go. Quick, secure, and easy.
Modern convenience, same trusted service from the Bridge Authority.
Then to get sassy, so you ain't gonna bring in this yard.
Let's go drive.
Listen, man, you know how much coconut I got in steel, man?
Let's go! Instead,
Sergeant!
Big step. Who is Sassy Sue?
They tell me I can borrow Sassy Sue, the Sassy Sue.
Sarge, I ain't telling you can touch my boat.
Everybody lock up. Best of the Best is back on Montague Foreshore from December 4th to December 7th, so I can see you there.
Running out of space? We've got room for that. Welcome to Skyline Storage, your trusted self-storage solution. Skyline Storage offers units from 5x10 to 10x30, climate-controlled or standard dry. Perfect for home or business. Located in Westfield Commerce Park, Western New Providence. Your belongings stay safe with gated access and 24/7 surveillance starting at $175 a month. Reserve, pay, and move in online. No phone calls, no paperwork. Visit SkylineStorage.com. Skyline Storage. Storage made simple.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods, taste the difference.
Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Good evening. Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's great to have you all tuned in. And so let's get started. I'm very happy about this because this series just came by with great thought and consultation. And decided, let's listen, what am I going to do differently or add to the election discussion, right? And this came up, and I'm quite happy because many people, and I wouldn't call their name, but let's say South Beach and others are saying, listen, you know, I thought it was pretty fair, Shanique. And people are saying, you know what, perhaps I do need to be more vocal or more visible and all the rest of it. And so this is what it's all about, I'll tell you that. And of course, we're also telling the truth. And so welcome to Beyond the Headlines Temperature Check. This is the fourth in our series. Of course, this series goes until the general election. If there are additional seats, we of course will look at those. And you may say, well, how can you give a temperature check on maybe who would be the new faces in that new or those new constituencies? Well, we can see what each are saying and exactly what they're about, what their footprint has been in the national space, and what they're known for, the reputation they've been able to develop over the years. Because after all, listen to me, you don't nobody who cannot further push your life along and improve your quality of life, not a handout, you all. No, a hand up. If that person cannot give you that hand up and make life better for you, leave them exactly where they are on your doorstep. And so welcome to tonight's show. This evening, of course, we are in, take a guess, the Mount Moriah constituency. There are three candidates in the Mount Moriah constituency. The Coalition of Independents, Linda Stubs. There she is on the screen. We also have the Free National Movement's Marvin Dames and the incumbent Progressive Liberal Party's Muel Barnaby. And so we're going to get started this evening. Welcome to Temperature Check, of course, the contributors Peggy Candace, Gabrielle McKenzie Ineas, and Howard Johnson. Good evening to each of you. Welcome to Temperature Check on Beyond the Headlines.
Good evening. Thank you so much, Shanique. Good evening, Bahamas.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, panelists. Good evening, Bahamas. It's always a pleasure to be here with you.
Good evening again, Shanique, and good evening, my colleagues. Good evening, Bahamas.
Absolutely. So you all know, of course, how we start. We jump right in. It's not too much pleasantries. Let's just go right in because the time goes by very quickly. And so let's jump right in. Now, Peggy, Gabrielle, Howard, what have you all been able to gather, glean, learn of the coalition's candidate, Linda Stubs?
Well, Shanique, good evening once again. Thank you for having me. I was trying to ascertain information about Ms. Stubs. Of course, I use social media And I went on a social media page and I sent a request to try and get her to tell me what she's doing in her plans for Mount Moriah, only to be verbally assaulted by her for the picture I selected to promote the event, and not realizing that I had sent a request for information. She just saw the picture and went butt wild on me. But sadly enough, I just closed up to WhatsApp. I went on her page and I saw most of what she's advertising is her businesses and not much for her plans for Mount Moriah. So unfortunately, that ended my research on the candidate.
Were you able to speak with anyone in Mount Moriah? Maybe they could have told you something?
No, I was not. I honestly, my disclaimer is I just shut down from the whole process concerning her.
Gabrielle, your thought? What were you able to find?
Well, Bahamas, as you all know, I get on the ground and I get in these constituencies. I go and I talk to the people and they say, "You's the lady from..." Yeah, I talk to them.
They recognize you.
They recognize, so they know what I come to ask.
I hope they told you the truth then, since they recognize you.
I come to ask it. And they was like, "Yeah, I'm ready to tell my story." And I'm like, "You ready to tell your story? Let's go. I listening." So we started off with the COI candidate. I always ask. I never give names first. I always want to find out if these persons have recognition on their own accord without me telling who they are. And I met one person. I was so happy. The first person that I interviewed, and we'll do that at the end. I'll play the interview tonight. That is familiar. He happens to live in the Stapleton part of Mount Moriah and said that Ms. Smith is a resident.
Stubs.
Oh, Jesus. I see him. Ms. Stubs is a resident of the area, and she does some work. He does see her in the community. Now, what that work was, he wasn't able to really go into details, give me anything. But everyone else that I canvassed, I went through Stapleton, Millennium, Yellow Elder. I made sure to get a cross-section of just random persons, and they weren't able to give me much. As a matter of fact, the number one comment was, "I don't know who that is, so I can't support." I even asked them, even though you don't know who the candidate is, would you support the party? And it was a no.
Howard, what were you able to find on the COI's candidate, Linda Stubs?
Yes, so Shanique, some of the same areas that Gabby traversed, I was able to make my phone calls, having relatives and friends in that Stapleton corridor that is surrounding the Holy Trinity School and church area, and then on the other side of Yellow Elder, across the street from the BUT, old BUT place, I think, that area. So nobody that I spoke with, none of the voters, and there were about 8 of them that I spoke with, none of the voters knew the COI candidate by name. And of course, they didn't know her, so they had not seen her or even know that the COI had a candidate in the area. One thing that I found that was interesting was that the ad that you would put up for temperature check on your Facebook page, I saw some comments from the chairman of the COI, some of them very disturbing, I might add, and personal attacks on you, which were very unbecoming. But she was on there actually saying some things about the candidate, as if she is introducing the candidate to the people through your ad, through the comments in the ad that you put up, which I found very interesting. But nobody knows about the candidate. I was unable to find any political footprint regarding her run in Mount Moriah on Facebook or anywhere on the internet. And so there it ends for me.
Well, of course, you all know Marvin Dames is seeking re-election, it's fair to say, because he served before. He was the Member of Parliament in Mount Moriah and for Mount Moriah before. There is Marvin Dames. Marvin Dames has a long career, and that's where I know him from, the way his first full-time job, I guess you would say. He climbed to the very top in that industry that he was in. But then, of course, he entered politics. He was unsuccessful in 2021. Now he's seeking to be elected again. next year. What have you all been able to discover about sort of the re-engineered Marvin Dames, who is now canvassing Mount Moriah once again to be elected by the people of Mount Moriah? And who wants to jump in first?
Well, actually, I was on the ground. I happened to, when I moved from the Stapleton area, I made my way over to Yellow Elder at some point, and I happened to meet Marvin Dames there campaigning this evening.
Oh, you met him?
I happened to run into him and his team this evening, and I was across the street interviewing someone, and so everyone's trying to figure out, well, what's she doing over there, and who's she talking to? So I was right on the main strip, right next to A.F. Adley School, so everybody's got to know where I was. I interviewed a long-standing resident, 56 years in that constituency. I mean, a house right next to the school. It's big and yellow, so you can't miss it. So everyone knows who I'm talking about. And she was adamant. She didn't know who the COI candidate was, but she was adamant that Marvin Dames deserved the second shot. That was her man of business. She didn't feel like he got a fair shaking after with the pandemic. She didn't feel like he was a bad representative. She feels like he's still around for the people. I got a mixed bag of reviews for Marvin Dames, but a lot of the persons, the one thing I can say, everyone knew who he was, and during his time and his tenure as Member of Parliament, they admitted he was very visible in the community. Some said that he pulled back after the loss, and they were not able to see him as much, but he's now ramping up things. There was one person, as I traversed further into Yellow Elder, that said, Mr. Dames, your team has walked straight past the McKinsey's house. Right through. They tell me I can call their name because they said it on video. They said, your team has walked straight past our house because they think we PLPs and we don't support. Come on, y'all.
Mom, but anybody, wait a minute now. I don't think
they
anybody
don't
play
pass
around
the people out
and think who is who.
Yes.
I think you're supposed to try to reach everybody. But did Dame see you?
They said they haven't seen him as yet.
No, I mean this evening when you went
out
earlier this evening.
He saw me this evening. I let them do their thing. I wasn't distracted. I was on a mission.
Yes.
I was on a mission. I let them do their thing, but they was in there working. The residents were really receptive. Horns were honking. So it seems like a mixed bag there in Mount Moriah thus far.
Well, Shanique, of course, Mr. Dames is no stranger, like we all know, to Mount Moriah. And one of the very important things that Gabby just said is that break after 2021, that break to now coming out on the ground. And he's on the ground, he's having events like every traditional politician and a candidate during election time. So he's having the traditional events. He had a South-South, he's canvassing. It's that break that is a problem for him because it's like he lost interest or he showed a disinterest in Mount Moriah after the loss, and now he's reemerged. And so Marvin Dames, I think the national part of Marvin Dames is being the Minister of National Security, almost eclipse what he has done on the ground in Mount Moriah, because when people speak of him, they speak of the scandalous part. And so I think that is one of the challenges
on the ground in Mount Moriah?
Yes, on social media. I get all of my stuff from social media. And I think that is one of the challenges that he will have to overcome. When people talk about or call Marvin Dames, you have people who say, well, this, instead of what his service was like. Gabrielle was able to get that information. And so I think that is one of the challenges as a returned candidate to Mount Moriah, as the former Member of Parliament and former National Security. He will have to battle some of the things that come along with having that history.
Address one or two things.
Yes.
Was anybody able to find out what kind of MP he was?
He was. They said he was a good MP. Across the board, persons didn't have an issue with his representation. He was visible throughout the constituency. They saw him. They were able to get in touch with him. Some people did feel though he became a little bit pompous. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, but they still remain able to get in touch with him, and they were pleased with his representation.
Listen, when we come back, we have Gabrielle. You heard her say she went out earlier this evening and before. And so she sent a video to my team, and I haven't seen it. I don't know what it is, but we're going to see what the people have to say. And we will also look at what the incumbent, the now sitting Member of Parliament, Muel Barnaby, has been doing in Mount Moriah since being elected. Will he be re-elected? Beyond the Headlines is back. It's Temperature Check. Back in a moment.
Welcome to Sunburst Super Christmas Sale, where you buy 5 and get 1 free. Prices start at just $28.95 for top quality wall paints and high gloss oil paints for $55.95 a gallon. Lucky customers get a chance to win a 42-inch TV every Saturday starting now. The drawing will take place at Sunburst Paints the first week of December. You can also have a chance to win one of 2 65-inch TVs during the month of December. So hurry on down to Sunburst Paints on Harold Road, where you buy 5 and get 1 free. Happy holidays, everybody!
It's Christmas time at Grand Bahama Tiles with 5 days of savings you don't want to miss. Starting this Saturday, November 29th, get 25% off all tiles in stock. Then on Monday, December 1st, savings drop to 24% off. Ending Thursday, December 4th with 21% off. The early bird really catches the worm this Christmas as savings drop each day. Hurry down for early Christmas savings at Grand Bahama Tiles. Call them at 352-7920.
My name is Omar Ferguson. I've been disabled now from 2009. What inspired me to start my own business? It was the determination to know that I still had something left in me, even though a lot of my independence, my mobility was being restricted. In my disability, it's kind of hard finding the investors or the capital. For example, national insurance. The benefit that we receive, it's a lifeline. And in any business that you're going to take, it's going to be a risk. We're not looking for handouts, but we want you to understand that we still need a little special care. This literally gives us a backbone that, hey, we could actually stand someday. This is the business I know it's going to be a risk. Even going through that process, I'm still dependent on national insurance. Overall, being in the program itself has put me in a place where I feel young again. I feel like anything is possible. I would say to others with disabilities, look around your community, just like you guys said in one of the modules. See what is needed in your community and go for it. Don't be afraid, just go for it.
For more information about how the SBDC can help your small business to make a big impact, give us a call at 461-7232 or visit sbdcbahamas.com.
Tired of driving around from place to place just to get your car insured and licensed? Frustrated with the process of being back and forth from your insurance company to road traffic? Well, BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers just made insuring and licensing your motor vehicle as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Visit us at the Road Traffic Department, Section 1, Thomas A. Robinson Sports Stadium. At our office, you can purchase or renew your insurance or get your vehicle inspected. We at BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers represent major carriers. Step 2. See the professionals at Road Traffic to get your vehicle licensed. Step 3. Enjoy your day. Insure with BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers today, saving you time and money. Your one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Great rates, convenient, excellent service. For more information, call us at 322-2221.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. We're going to jump right in. You are watching Temperature Check on Beyond the Headlines. This evening, we are looking at the Mount Moriah constituency and the 3 candidates. We've already moved through the Coalition of Independents. We've moved through partly the Free National Movement. Of course, we still have the Progressive Liberal Party to come. Howard Johnson, if you can come right back in very, very quickly. I know you did not have a chance to say what your investigations, you're speaking to various people, revealed about Marvin Dames, the Free National Movement's candidate.
Yes. So very quickly about this Mount Moriah constituency, it's interesting that we're going to have, and I don't know if this is anywhere else in the Bahamas for election 2026, we're going to have two MPs actually battling each other. Mr. Dames has been the MP, and Mr. Barnaby is the MP. So I don't think we have those dynamics anywhere else in the Bahamas, and I stand corrected. But everybody that I spoke to on the ground would have seen Mr. Dames, and some of them have seen Mr. Dames and his team more than once. But everybody has seen Mr. Dames' presence on his social media. I've seen activity, I've seen events, and definitely campaigning and moving around, talking to residents. And we all know Mr. Dames, like Peggy said, he has a national profile. He is very well known to the public. One of the things that I got as a criticism of Mr. Dames was also that, you know, he seemed to have disappeared after the loss. And one of the things that residents believe contributed to his losing in 2021 was the fact that Mr. Dames failed to make a very wholesome personal connection with residents in the community. Now, I can tell you, I know this community, and I know the chairman and one of the big campaign folks, Mr. Bennett Minnis. And Mr. Bennett Minnis and that team are people that are always on the ground and very close to the heart of Mount Moriah because they live there. Mr. Dames, however, got swept up in the wave in 2021, and he was able to be beaten by a newcomer in Mr. Barnaby. And so Mr. Dames has a lot of catching up to do. He has a lot of catching up to do, and he has a lot of work to do as it relates to the work that his opponent has been doing. But
Is he resonating? Is he making some inroads?
It's a mixed bag. Some of the residents said that they have not made up their mind about who they're going to vote for, but overwhelmingly, the majority of the 8 persons, there was about 3 of them that said that they're still sitting on the fence, but 5 of those persons emphatically told me that they're going to be voting for Mr. Barnaby.
But you begin that discussion right now. And so now we're going to shift in the Mount Moriah constituency to the incumbent, the Progressive Liberal Party standard bearer for the 2026 general election, Muel Barnaby. Howard, what have you been able to uncover?
Yes, and so what I've been able to uncover from social media, I'll start there. Social media has a big presence. I mean, Mr. Barnaby has been out there, doing any and everything you can imagine. Schools, speaking at the schools, he's out there helping and assisting with cleaning the drains. He's having events all over the place. He is on the ground canvassing night and day, just like Mr. Dames is doing. And so his visibility is very, very, very high. And his presence is very well felt in the community. And it appears from his social media, it appears that he is making those meaningful emotional connections in the community. Now, there's one thing that 1 or 2 of the voters said to me, right? They said that Mr. Barnaby's, one voter in particular said to me that Mr. Barnaby came to her house, and she is someone who's known to have voted to vote F&M. And Mr. Barnaby's people came to her house. He was home watching TV, lights on, and they slid the pamphlet under her door and attempted to turn around and walk away. But she opened the door because she heard them rustling right out there. So she opened the door and she asked them, well, where y'all going? I thought y'all was here to campaign. So Mr. Barnaby, I'm telling you right now, if your people are identifying F&M to you and telling you you don't need to go to their door, then sad will be your cry, sir. Make sure your people, he wasn't there. He was not with the team. But you need to make sure that your team is going to everyone's house, irrespective of whether or not they're identified as F&Ms.
Yes.
Okay, I did my research. I agree. Everything with Mr. Howard Johnson said. Mr. Muel Barnaby comes off as a superstar in his constituency. His presence, I mean, he showed up at a senior citizen home. The lady was so moved by him. One of the residents, she blessed him. When you look at the community center and swimming pool, when you look at roof fixing, roads paving, his presence is heavily felt. Even if you recall when there were tragedy, he was on the ground, he was there, he was interviewed. And so Mr. Barnaby is doing all the right moves. And I will agree with I would knock on every door, address, embrace everyone, because you don't know how people who are on the fence will be moved by you saying, oh, even though you say after them, oh, he came and he spoke with me and he was this, and it can make a difference. Every vote count, every vote must be counted.
What are people, I mean, outside of the campaigning, we know that everybody is doing that now. What are people saying about him and his representation?
He get out of everybody who made comments, because I put his picture on my page and I put it on in WhatsApp group. All except one person, and she said she's waiting for a letter for 2 weeks. Go walk to the office, ma'am. But everyone, somebody say she's proud to be a constituent because of his presence, because of the work he's doing in his constituency. And so he got great reviews by everyone except one individual.
Well, Muel Barnaby definitely has charisma. I would say that he has a charming personality that's captivating loads of members of his constituency. He is definitely renowned for that, for being a people's person, someone that's very approachable. So I'd also like to personally commend him on that. In this thing, politics is about people. And I found that on the ground, that was the top thing that people said. They were able to connect with him, that residents said. However, I ran into the same issue across, and I'm going to cue the video right after I make this statement. We ran into the same issue across that he checks for one side. The yellow elder side is his heart. The yellow elder side, he's putting all of his eggs into the yellow elder side basket. And one resident even went as far to say that she hopes the basket doesn't fall out the bottom and that they could carry him through. And not to forget that you have residents across Millennium Gardens and Stapleton Gardens as well, that they are not as needy, but they do require attention when it comes to things, especially on national issues as well.
So is he performing on those other areas in terms of addressing community needs?
Yes, Shanique. Everybody that I spoke to, even those that said that they were ambivalent and still on the fence, and not the three who said that they were not sure what they were going to do. And most of the others that I spoke with, nobody had a bad thing to say about him. They said that things are being done. A lot of the residents that I spoke to said that they were impressed with how he has maintained the parks, and then there's a pool and community center that's been done there, and that's what they were talking about.
Stapleton residents feel like the pool should have been in Stapleton. I want you to know that.
But I can tell you,
go where the pool is. I can only tell you what was told to me.
There's tennis courts.
So no matter where you try to put the pool got to go somewhere, and somebody could be close to the pool, and somebody could be far from the pool.
Absolutely.
So that's neither here nor there.
Absolutely. Now listen, you all, very, very quickly, because D'Angelo already told me, Shanique, you're out of time. Is this seat, is Mount Moriah leaning PLP, leaning F&M, leaning COI, or too close to call?
I'm going to say PLP. He is the one to beat in this race.
I still think this seat is too close to call based on my interviews on the ground today. Too close to call.
I think this seat is leaning PLP because the time that Mr. Dames spent after he lost, absent from the constituency, I believe Mr. Barnaby was able to gain ground in there, endear himself to the people, and I believe that Mr. Dames is behind and has a long way to catch up to Mr. Barnaby. So I believe this seat is leaning PLP at this time.
And so I'll tell you this, of course, this is what we do here on Temperature Check. Now, of course, I was a little rushed this evening because my team back there is screaming at me. By the way, gentlemen, do we have a moment to just play a little bit of what Gabrielle got earlier this evening? If we do, by all means, we can put in a 30 seconds in there.
I went on the ground. I went on the ground. Y'all, I don't make this up.
Okay, my name is Brent. I reside in the Mount Moriah area, which is Stapleton Gardens, which is adjacent to Yellow Elder Gardens and Millennium Gardens.
Okay, so I have questions.
Go ahead.
One, do you know who the 3 persons are vying for this area? So that's from, let's start with the COI, the Coalition of Independents.
Coalition of Independents. Linda, can't remember her last name.
Okay, so you're
But,
aware of
yeah,
who
I'm
she
aware
is?
of her, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
anything to say about her in terms of representation or representing this community?
To be honest with you, I feel as though she would probably give good representation because she's from the community. Don't get me wrong. She is from the community. Coalition, I'm not so sold
you're
on
not-
it yet, but I know of her, yes.
Okay, awesome. So what about the Free National Movement? We'll move on to them next.
Okay.
You're aware of who's running for
Yes,
them? Their candidate?
Marvin Dames. I have no issues also with him. Reason being, my personal view,
Mhm.
I feel as though that we've gotten on this side great representation for because I could see him every afternoon, every evening passing through the area to make sure and checks and whatnot. I have no issues with that aspect. So yeah, I'm very familiar with him also.
Is he still on the ground doing work in the area?
Yes, he still is on the ground doing work in the area.
Okay, and I just want to pivot back. What about Miss Linda? Is she doing work in the area?
Yes, she's still doing every now and then. I'd see her, when I do go on the street, I do see her on the street.
Okay, so now let's move on to your current member of parliament. Are you aware of who that is?
Yeah. I don't want to miss and not pronounce the name properly, but I
You
do
can
know
look
that-
right there and tell the people.
I don't want to say or mess up the name, but is it what Muel Barnaby? Mr. Barnaby? Yeah, I'm familiar with it. Yes.
What do you think in terms of his level of representation? He's been representing you now for some 4 odd years.
My honest opinion on the representation, I speak for many others in this Stapleton Gardens area that I feel as though his focus is more on the Yellow Elder side more than on this side. That's just my belief. And
There you have that right there. There you have a bit of that right there, Gabrielle. So this is something you did earlier.
This is something I do all the time, Shanique. I go in, I speak
No, I
with the
know you do that.
residents.
We out of time.
Mhm.
I didn't ask you all that. I said you did that earlier.
Yes, this was today, earlier
I
today.
know if it's each of them do something different.
Mhm.
I don't even
Awesome
play.
job, Gabby.
I don't play
Yes.
a role in temperature check. I need you all to understand that. The only thing I do is post, and I say, hey, listen, this is what we're doing. Go out there and investigate. Be as thorough as you possibly can. Okay, so we're going to continue this. We're going to continue this. The next constituency is tune in next week. Absolutely. I thank, of course, all of my guests this evening for being here on the show, and all of you for tuning in this evening, and of course for my excellent production crew in the back there. Thank you so much, and to all of you watching. I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening, everyone.